I'm Kelsey from Casey Trees. We're a nonprofit committed to restoring, enhancing, and protecting the tree canopy of the nation's capital. We're joining you today from Kingman Heritage Islands, human-made islands in the middle of the Anacostia River in Washington, D.C. Let's talk about ecosystem services, or benefits that trees provide to their community, to this area, and to Washington, D.C. Let's take a closer look at the red maple, this tree here. Red maples are a popular tree in Washington, D.C. They grow all over the islands, but arborists also plant them in planned green spaces at schools, at parks, and at people's homes. The red maple provides a number of ecosystem services, such as stormwater runoff mitigation, air pollution absorption, carbon sequestration, and it provides habitats for animals. According to DC's Department of Energy and the Environment, stormwater is excessive rainfall that does not soak into the ground, but instead flows over the land into the nearest body of water, in this case, the Anacostia River. So why should we care about stormwater? Stormwater can bring pollutants into our watershed, and that's our drinking water. So that means that we'll have to clean the water, make it safer to drink, make it safer to swim in. Trees like the red maple soak up gallons and gallons of water every year. This prevents the water from sweeping across the land, taking pollutants along the way, and going into our river. Another ecosystem service or benefit that the tree provides is air quality improvement. If you remember, trees photosynthesize or create their food by absorbing carbon dioxide and sunlight and releasing oxygen. Humans need oxygen to survive, so we thank the trees for providing this oxygen through photosynthesis. But trees also purify the air by removing air pollutants. When humans drive cars, create electricity, and so on, they create air pollutants, which can be dangerous for our health. These pollutants are so small that we breathe them in, and they can interfere with our respiratory system. Trees like the red maple and so many others that grow in DC absorb the pollutants on their leaves and on their bark, which reduces the amount of pollution that is in the atmosphere. Another ecosystem service that trees provides is carbon sequestration. We've discussed how trees photosynthesize or create their food from light and carbon dioxide. Trees will absorb carbon dioxide through their leaves. When they're releasing oxygen, and again absorbing air pollutants through the leaves, they're also storing the carbon in their trunks. You can see that with the red maple behind me. And I also have an example of a tree cookie, which is a cross-section of the tree's trunk. You'll see on this cookie that the tree grows a ring every year it's alive. The tree stores the carbon and grows its trunk from the inside out. The wider the tree, the older the tree, and the more carbon it has stored over its lifetime. So you can see this is a smaller tree. Then I have a larger tree cookie. Imagine if it was a whole circle. This tree has grown so many rings. It's full of carbon. You'll see a big maple like this or other trees in DC with really wide trunks. This tree has lived a long life and will continue to grow a wider and wider trunk full of carbon. Carbon sequestration is important to notice because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. We need some carbon dioxide for life on Earth to exist. However, if there's too much in the atmosphere, too high of concentrations can be like putting on too warm of a blanket. Carbon dioxide can heat our Earth, which can have devastating impacts on life as we know it. We've seen how trees are growing, sequestering carbon through photosynthesis as they age. We have here a dead tree, but this tree is still important as a community member in the ecosystem. What other benefits can you think of that trees provide? An ecosystem service that's so important for Kingman Heritage Islands are habitat, or homes for animals. From their roots to their fruits, trees provide a home for so many types of wildlife here on the islands and elsewhere in the city. Tree roots hold onto the soil, which provides homes for burrowing animals who live underground. Animals can also live in the trunk and canopies of the tree. Birds will create their nests using twigs and other pieces of the trees. And different animals can benefit from the fruits of the trees. Even humans, we love to eat things from trees. Trees are so amazing. Oak species can provide homes for up to 500 different species of butterfly. Trees can create a robust community, not only for wildlife, but for humans too. Our health improves because of trees and green spaces like Kingman and Heritage Islands. As I've mentioned before, trees can improve air quality, which makes it easier for us to breathe. But trees also have an impact on our mental health. I know I feel better when I spend time outside. Trees can calm traffic, make us feel calmer, help us breathe easier. I'm so grateful to trees and how they help my health and the health of my community. I've used a couple of clues to identify what kind of tree we're observing here. So again, I don't see leaves on the tree, but I can use a couple of other clues to figure out what I'm looking at. So we found the flowers on the ground, and we can see that this tree is flowering in the early spring. This tree is really distinct, more ridged bark, but it has kind of these like square ridges. And this tree has opposite arrangement. So everything on the tree grows opposite each other. So they're in pairs all the way up. So I would identify this tree as a maple tree. And maple trees love moist soils. So if you're out of school and your school garden keeps flooding, we might plant a maple tree in the schoolyard area. This tree is 34.7 inches in diameter. In this year, our maple here has intercepted 2,700 gallons of stormwater. In its lifetime, this tree has sequestered 16,000 pounds of carbon, which is a lot. And this tree has removed 3 pounds of air pollutants this year, which is really quite spectacular.